The all-in-one starter ruler has a crosshair in the centre, and this will allow you to create some rotating designs once you have some guidelines on your quilt top. Now this one, I'm just placing the crosshair right in the centre, and I am rotating this design just using one curve at this time and meeting each cross, and every time you just need to line up the crosshair at the center line and flip the ruler from one way to the other. Where's my crosshairs? There it is there. There it is there, get it right. That into there, and it should, yes, meet up at the other lines as I've done all the ones all the way around. Now if you wanted to, you could then turn around and simply use the opposite curve, and you already have your guidelines, your needle would be down, to then go over and rotate this around to come up with another design. Remembering that you do have both these curves will stitch out exactly the same, so you could go this way as well to get to that point. And from there we can simply build on what you would like to create. I would come from the centre to come up with a central design using this curve, and we can come up to there, and now I'll come out just creating this design on the 45-degree lines, and I can rotate that to there. No, I'll come around this way purely because my camera stand is feet are in the way. Come out to that one. Out so you can see the design that we've just come up with, and from there I probably would come up with a design to put into these negative spaces. Let's see, what can we do? Potentially, I reckon we could first of all echo. Now we could just simply use this ruler, bit of a guideline to go this way, and do a 1/4 inch crosshatch. lining up. There's a center line down that curve, and you can just touch the edge of your stitching, and that way you can keep it pretty even. And then you can come back the other way. And I've dotted my line there, so I'm going to put my centre line of that curve so that it's going to continue along that line. And we can continue in that manner. And I'm just going to eyeball that. And of course this isn't a uniform shape, it's curving around, so these are not going to so I'm lining up my line. I'll swap it over this way. It's easier to see on the bottom. There it is there. Make it a bit darker. Now you can see it underneath. Just use a Sharpie if that's hard to see, and that just because this is on white paper. So we'll be doing and move it up. And then we can go the other direction. Now, of course, if you've chosen your arcs or your curved crosshatch and you want it to go the other direction and it's just awkward, you now have on this starter ruler, of course, the same curve. So you could potentially have gone the other direction. So I could have had it going this way, and I've still got the same guidelines. I've still got a center line. I'll make it darker. So you can see the center line of the curve. So it could have come down and followed the line, and you could come from this direction and follow it down that way, if that makes it easier to locate your ruler on your quilting machine. I'll do that now. Okay, so it could come in this way. And I'm going to bring it down so it's just touching, but that is still coming along that same angle. And I'm bringing it down so it's on the edge of the stitching, and I've got that line there coming along there. And here we go. There, I'm just bringing it down 1/4 of an inch, but keeping the centre of the curve along the centre line that I've marked. And then matching up to the previous stitching so that I'm 1/4 of an inch away from the centre of the curve. And look at that, that worked out perfectly. And then I can come around and do the other angle. And I'm lining up my centre line with my marked line. And this is the last one. This time I might come from this direction, it's just more natural, as long as I line up that line. And there's a curved cross hatching. And possibly the last thing I would like to do, I believe, would be nice to echo. So I would find my centre point, put my ruler on that row of stitching, and let's just go around like this to finish this off. And we have a nice motif, and what else could we do with that? You might want to fill in this area here, which is still another option to give it some more detail.